Okay, we've been doing a deep dive, my team, into government documents. Now, we showed you how the FBI's case against Trump was falling apart in early 2017. They couldn't make the case that Trump was colluding with Russia to meddle. They couldn't close the case. Former FBI Director James Comey, former Director of National Intelligence James Clapper testified to that. Peter Strzok, Lisa Page all testified to that. Loretta Lynch made indications of that. So did Sally Yates. For example, look at Clapper's statement there. I never saw any direct empirical evidence that the Trump campaign conspired with the Russians to meddle with the election. Okay, here's what's going on right now. Remember how House Intelligence Democrat Chair Adam Schiff at that time was criticized for repeatedly going on CNN, MSNBC, and other networks during the Trump-Russia probe early in 2017 and for the next 2 years to say that Trump was a Russian asset, was colluding with Russia at a time when the FBI didn't close the case. They had no conclusive evidence of that. Well, now newly released FBI emails found by Judicial Watch shows the NSA was also offering to help Adam Schiff secretly read Trump-Russia documents before the probe was concluded. This after we showed you yesterday FBI emails released by Judicial Watch revealed that the FBI helped Democrat Schiff read secret documents too. Okay, look who's here. He's fired up and ready to go. He's Ohio's Jim Jordan, House Judiciary ranking Republican. Congressman, I want to ask you this, whether you like Trump or not, or agree with him or not, should politicians read secret probe documents before a case is closed, before the probe is closed, in order to go after a political opponent?
No, only if it's consistent with how you're supposed to brief, Devin Nunes and the chairman at the time, Adam Schiff. Only if it's part of what is supposed to be done under our system. All this shows you, Liz, everything that you've talked about and we've been talking about for years now, shows us, well, two things. One, how committed the swamp was to try to take out President Trump. Remember, they started spying on his campaign clear back in the summer of 2016. And then when he wins, the lengths they would go to continue to try to get him. The other thing it shows is, for those of us who've been trying to get to the bottom of this now for a few years, the only thing we had wrong, folks like you in the press who were digging into it, those of us in the House and the Congress who were digging into it, the only thing we had wrong is it was much worse than we thought. That is the only thing we missed. This is how bad this was. This is how much they wanted to get President Trump, and the lengths they were willing to go when they knew at the time there was never a proper predicate. You just talked about Clapper's statement, but they all said the same thing. We never saw any collusion, but they launched an investigation with no proper predicate, no cause to do it. They did it because they were so out to get this president.
Peter Strzok has given a new interview on his new book coming out with the Atlantic magazine saying he still believes that, Trump effectively is working on behalf of Russia. That's the import of that interview. I read it. Let me get back to the NSA. The NSA, the National Security Agency, is moving to help Adam Schiff because Adam Schiff then went on MSNBC in March 2017. You saw that, saying there is more than circumstantial evidence now of Trump-Russia collusion. He said it on CNN in December 2017. April 2018, Schiff rebuts Devin Nunes, saying, the fact that there is collusion. What's going on with the NSA here?
Yeah, I don't know that much about the NSA, but I will tell you this. This is the same Adam Schiff who told us that, his office had no contact with whistleblower. He didn't know who the whistleblower was during the whole Ukraine impeachment hoax. So I don't put a whole lot of stock, frankly, in what Adam Schiff is telling us, based on the fact that we know his office had contact with the whistleblower, and yet Adam Schiff said in the open impeachment hearing, no, I don't know who the whistleblower is. That is such a joke. So, again, this is the way the left plays. Liz, we should never forget, I think one of the best examples to show the lengths they were willing to go to try to get this president and the lengths they were willing to go to cover up what they did is what they did to General Flynn between Election Day 16 and Inauguration Day in January 2017. 49 times, 38 separate people unmasked Michael Flynn's name because they knew they had to get Flynn. They had to get General Flynn because he would figure it out as the former head of Defense Intelligence. He would figure out what they were doing as the guy who was going to be the national security advisor to the president of the United States. So they set out on a mission to take him down, and they did. And they're still trying to get him, this judge in D.C. So that shows you the lengths they were willing to go after this president. And Adam Schiff, I just don't trust what he says based on what he said about the whistleblower and a host of other things.
All right, Congressman Jordan, it's always great to have you on. Come back soon, okay?
You bet, Liz. Take care. Have a great weekend.